dark, violent, and packed with blood-soaked action. Upcoming vampire games are embracing a far more brutal style than ever before. Here are the most savage vampire titles on the horizon. Let's get into it.
Copy. You're 1097. On.
Hunter the Reckoning Deathwish is an action RPG set in New York, where players hunt supernatural creatures hiding among ordinary people. You create your hunter by customizing appearance, merits, and flaws. Then investigate targets through spying, hacking, infiltration, and clue gathering before each hunt. Combat requires preparing weapons and tools based on the enemy, while choices during missions can change outcomes. The game also includes companions, safe house management, and decision-driven story progression.
Waiting for its prey.
Shaw took control. There's nothing here.
We have learned. We've prepared. And we won't let it happen again. A reckoning is coming.
The Blood of Dawnwalker is a dark fantasy action RPG set in 14th century Europe, where players control Cohen, a character who lives as a human during the day and a vampire at night. The game features two gameplay styles tied to each form, giving access to different abilities, combat options, and ways to handle quests. Player actions affect the story and world progression, with time moving forward as quests are completed, while combat includes sword fighting, magic, and supernatural vampire powers.
Hello everyone!
Hi and welcome to our 2026 Full Wolf Moon celebration. It's been one full year since we've gathered here and unveiled the Blood of Dawnwalker to the world, and what a year it was!
We are really honored and humbled by your amazing reactions to our first intro cinematic trailer, our gameplay videos and presentations.
Yes, and it's been incredible to meet so many of you in person at the events all over the world, including Gamescom, PAX, East and West, TwitchCon or Poznań Game Arena.
I want to thank you all, because hearing from you is what motivates us and inspires us.
Also, when it comes to the feedback, we're making this game for you, and that's why we always want to show you the game in its current state as we progress through different stages of development, even if it sometimes means showcasing content that doesn't fully represent the final quality we're aiming for.
We can't promise to implement all of your suggestions, but we do appreciate them and we always check what can be done. We would like to ask for your trust. We want this game to be great as much as you do.
Yes, looking forward, the Blood of Dawnwalker launches this year, and we won't reveal the release date today, but you can expect to start hearing from us more and more.
We still have so much content to show you. Gameplay features, locations, characters.
Exactly, you haven't even met the entire main cast of characters yet, or creatures, or music.
So, to begin 2026 on high note, We are really excited to present you new The Blood of Dawnwalker main musical theme.
Enjoy, and we'll see you all in the comment sections afterwards. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, and see you soon!
Votre attention, le soleil est sur le point de se coucher. Tous les citoyens...
Marvel's Blade is a third-person action-adventure game with a narrative-driven structure that follows Eric Brooks as he battles a vampire outbreak in Paris. Players take control of Blade while fighting through a quarantined city overrun by vampires and uncovering a story tied to a struggle between human and vampire nature. The game centers on combat-focused action and story progression, with its setting built around a vampire-controlled area threatening the rest of the city.
Relax, man. I don't bite. Lock up tight now. Night's just getting started.
The Duskbloods is a multiplayer action RPG built around PvP and PvE matches for up to 8 players. Players choose from more than a dozen Bloodsworn characters, each with unique weapons, firearms, and abilities, then compete across different maps while completing combat objectives and match-specific roles. The game also includes character customization, summonable companions, dynamic events during matches, and a reward system that unlocks further customization after each battle.
A wheel. and transport him to a night of moonlight, to humanity's very dusk.
Close your eyes and contemplate now the moon, as befit the soon-to-depart.
I pray that you are able, carrier of blood.
The moon tears will flow for one, and one alone.
The Witcher 4 is an open-world RPG that begins a new storyline within the Witcher series and takes place after the events of the previous game. It is being developed as a large-scale role-playing title with a focus on immersive open-world design, interactive environments, and expanded quest design. The developers are also aiming to improve mission variety by creating more focused quests while reducing repetitive objectives throughout the overall gameplay structure.
What does that for us? Even Heart of Gold. You've the spirit to overcome adversities aplenty. Darling. Sweden. Today's the day. Ye fill out your destiny. Forgive me, daughter. 'Twere my only choice.
I shall be the bringer of salvation.
A witcher? Witcher! Whose coin did ye take? Nay, you can't! 'Tis tradition! Chosen she is, by the gods!
No! You chose her.
Back to the village. Go, now.
Nay! I must save them! Save the village!
Save yourself! Run! To shelter! To your father! Run!
Fate cannot be changed. You cannot change anything.
Save me! Thank you, animal sailors! Save the village! This condition! I was chosen to bring some vengeance! Thank
She went to go to the woods. The chosen one. It's tradition.
Oh no, no, no.
It's all we wanted. For her to go to the woods. To go to the gods.
Gods? There are no gods here. There are only monsters.
Go die!
Stupid Never Dies is an action RPG where players control Davy, a zombie fighting through a monster-filled dungeon to revive a frozen human girl named Julia. Combat revolves around defeating enemies, stealing their abilities by consuming them, and switching between multiple combat styles with different powers. Players can also upgrade Davy's body with new parts and equipment, customize weapons and gear, and use a special boost system that increases stats during battle.
I'd give my life to get hers back. Oh wait, I'm already dead.
The only way to revive her is to dive into the dungeon, eat KOM, and seize the over technology.
You should start heading back. There's a special kind of miasma that drifts within the dungeon. Therefore, there is a time limit to your activities. You return to the dungeon. It should reduce the time required to rejuvenate. The speed of your growth will increase with each trip to the dungeon. One thing is for certain. Once the power in the cold storage goes off, your girl is a goner.
You told me this now?
tyranny of the nobility and the cruelty of the Church of the Holy Light seem to be...
Crimson Tale is a first-person narrative puzzle game where players control Elizabeth, a vampire using blood magic and supernatural abilities to fight against oppressive guards. Gameplay involves solving puzzles by traveling between past and present, with actions in the past changing the current timeline and opening new paths forward. Players must avoid sunlight while moving through environments, and use vampire powers such as telekinesis, enhanced vision, and time-based abilities to interact with objects and progress.
I stopped running to hide and started running to fight. Those guards took away what I loved the most, but this time, not even the sun will stop me.
Banshee is a horror adventure game where players wake up inside a locked house and must search for a way to escape while being hunted by a creature called Banshee. Gameplay revolves around exploring the house, finding and combining items, and unlocking paths blocked by multiple locks. Players must avoid being caught while dealing with traps and surprises, as each capture advances time forward and brings them closer to game over. Diablo 4, Lord of Hatred, is an expansion for Diablo 4 that adds a new campaign focused on the conflict against Mephisto, while introducing the Skovos region as a new area to explore. The expansion includes 2 additional classes, Paladin and Warlock, along with new skill variants, skill tree updates, and expanded build customization systems. It also adds new endgame activities, crafting mechanics, item systems, set bonuses, and progression features for post-campaign content. Castlevania Belmont's Curse is a 2D action exploration game set in medieval Paris, where players control a young Belmont fighting monsters with the legendary vampire killer whip. Gameplay centers on fast-paced combat and movement, with the whip used both for attacking and traversing environments. Players can also use additional weapons and abilities during combat while progressing through areas filled with traps, puzzles, hidden items, secret chambers, and challenging enemy encounters.
Together, we're continuing our collaboration for the 40th anniversary of the franchise. Being a French team, we were arrogant enough to set the game in France, except for me, of course, being a humble Englishman. Now, let me set the scene. The year is 1499, and Paris has been invaded by Dracula's forces. As a Belmont, you will hunt down monsters across the city, scaling the sacred spires of Notre Dame, descending into the skull-lined catacombs, and dueling corrupted legends like Joan of Arc. Only berets and baguettes are missing, but I think you've had enough of that already. And what will become of Paris when Dracula's castle finally emerges? Well, you'll have to wait a little longer to find out.
They say that you are a bloodhound, a tracker of the supernatural.
Nightborn is an RPG set in a gothic version of New Orleans, where players create a vampire detective and investigate supernatural disappearances tied to a larger conspiracy. Gameplay allows players to approach situations through combat, stealth, or dialogue, with choices affecting interactions and investigations. Players can customize their character through vampire lineages and power skill trees, use abilities such as shape-shifting and mind control, feed on mortals to maintain strength, and side with different factions throughout the story.
You must want something really bad if you're looking for it here. What's wrong, vampire? Afraid I might bite? I can't imagine the horrors you've seen. Others avoid creatures that go bump in the night. You have some neat tricks. You have to show me how you do that sometime.
Any truth to the rumors that your maker was a pirate?
Bloody Hell Hotel is a simulation game where players manage a ruined estate and rebuild it into a working hotel while playing as a vampire owner. Gameplay includes renovating rooms, upgrading furniture, decorating spaces, and expanding the property to attract guests. Players also gather resources through farming, crafting, cooking, and dungeon crawling, while hiring vampire staff to handle hotel duties as the business grows and management demands increase.
The faces of the villagers are full of pain and loss. These people need hope.
Vampire's Bloodlord Rising is an open-world action RPG where players awaken as a vampire lord and build their power across a dark fantasy land. Gameplay includes castle building and customization, gathering resources, crafting equipment, and commanding servants to handle tasks such as hunting, building, and protection. Players must hunt for blood to maintain strength, use vampire abilities like shapeshifting, and survive threats while progressing through the world either alone or in co-op.
Seen great lords rise and fall. I wonder which you'll be, Dragos.
Decasus, 5th of Cogilum.
Deadhaus Sonata is a third-person action RPG where players take the role of undead characters and fight through a dark fantasy world shaped by story choices and player actions. Gameplay includes feeding on enemies to grow stronger, unlocking supernatural abilities, and building characters through a tarot-based skill system that grants different powers and upgrades. Players can collect loot based on performance instead of random drops, explore secret-filled areas, and play alone or in co-op.
Will be the iconic vampire. In Deadhaus Sonata, your abilities are defined by a unique tarot-based skill system, which is fueled by the discovery of cards and allows skills to be mixed, matched, and upgraded through endless combinations.
Should this magic touch an enemy, rot and decay will slowly eat at their flesh.
Loot in Deadhaus Sonata also breaks with convention. Instead of random drops from chests or defeating enemies, loot is collected by completing quests called feats, gained through battle, exploration, and story. Loot evolves based on variables like player choice, performance, history, and even celestial conditions. In Deadhaus Sonata, playing is crafting, and history is currency. Narrative is a foundational aspect of Deadhaus Sonata. We have created over 13 hours of professionally voiced narrative that you can listen to in the Player Hub.
Denovis, 16th of Oct. The light of the damnable sun fills the skies.
The very DNA of Deadhaus is built from its story and world building. The way you fight, the choices you make, and even the time and place you make them all leave a mark on your character and the world. And with community-written lore, persistent world events, and sentient gear, the world itself reacts to your story.
Vampire the Masquerade. Bloodlines 2 Loose Canon is a story expansion for Bloodlines 2 that places players in the role of Benny Muldoon, the sheriff of Seattle's vampire court. The expansion adds new playable story content focused on Benny's perspective within the city's underworld, while introducing additional combat mechanics and abilities. Gameplay places greater attention on combat-driven encounters as players take on brutal missions tied to enforcing order across Seattle's vampire society.
An asset to Seattle, or the spark that burns it all down again. Everyone is watching. Can't you sense it? waiting for you to show your true intent. What will you do to my city, nomad? And what shall I do?
Vampire Crawlers, the turbo wildcard from Vampire Survivors, is a turn-based deck-building game with roguelite mechanics where players fight through monster-filled dungeons using card-based combat. Gameplay revolves around playing cards in sequence to build stronger combo chains, stacking effects to increase damage and extend turns. Players can level up to unlock new cards, collect upgrades and customization gems, evolve weapons, and gather treasures while progressing deeper through dungeon floors.
I want you to paint a picture with me. Picture.
Kalyskah is a third-person open-world RPG where players control a vampire warrior in a dark fantasy setting and shape events through story choices. Gameplay includes real-time combat against enemies such as bandits, trolls, and undead while improving vampiric powers through leveling and skill progression. Players can customize their character, complete branching quests, manage blood-feeding mechanics tied to survival, and use stealth to approach enemies before attacking or feeding.